Mega Mike the Movie Man here. Welcome to my channel. We have an amazing stream tonight. We're going to be talking all things for the director Guillermo del Toro. Sorry, I probably pronounced the name wrong. I do apologize, but we're going to rank some movies today from the worst to the best. So we each got our top 5 ranking here, and I'm not joined alone tonight. I got an awesome panel of blue tubers and collectors out there. So let me go ahead and bring everybody out one by one. Let's go ahead and bring Derek. How we doing out there?
I am good, thank you. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, I was happy and able to cram in 2.5 extra Guillermo del Toro movies today in preparation for this that I had not seen yet. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I've
Yeah.
seen every one of his movies officially going into this now.
Okay,
Probably.
that's good because I'm missing, I think, like 3 movies. I was catching up on some movies. I think I got like 4.5 in. So
I
I'm
know
getting
pick
there,
5 out of
but
it.
yeah,
Works
I
for me.
didn't finish the last half of what I was watching right now, but just gonna roll with it.
Got the gist
All
of it.
right. Ben Buster, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, splendid.
Oh, we're doing great.
I'm ready to talk some Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I feel like I know some of your titles that you're gonna be picking, but we'll see. Do you think
Oh,
maybe a surprise in there? Just maybe?
there will be a surprise in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got movies with Ryan. How we doing, Ryan?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh, wait. No. Cocaine's wearing off. Doing good. Thank you for having me for the Guillermo del Toro stream. And like Derek, I got to cram some more GDT in this weekend to try to finish it out. I think I'm only down to not seeing Little Wooden Liar Boy and what is it? Nightmare Alley, I think is it. So
Oh, yeah. There's 2
should
newest
be
ones.
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then I heard this person loves movies. How we doing, KB?
I'm doing very well. How's everyone doing tonight?
Very, very
Doing
well.
Oh,
well.
we're doing great.
Good,
Fantastic.
All
good.
right.
I hope
And
I
then
can stay with this stream. That's all I want to say.
it's okay. We're gonna work with it. All
We'll
right, we
kick it out.
got somebody making their channel debut tonight on my channel here. Eddie, how we
Hey, what's
doing,
going?
Eddie?
Eddie,
Doing great, man. Thanks for inviting me on. Looking forward to chatting with you and the rest of you guys. So this will be fun. This will be fun.
And I know you've been preparing too, right, Eddie? You've been telling me you've been getting these movies in. You got how many
Yeah,
and 5 in for this stream?
yeah. Like I consider myself a pretty big Del Toro fan, and then like when you invited me on, I started looking through his filmography, and I was like, okay, I haven't seen as many of his movies as I thought I have. So I watched like probably 4 or 5 in the last couple of days, and I'm still missing 3. I'm like you. I have a couple of holes in there. So, but
When you talk about his directorial side, you're shocked by how little there is. But when you think about how much other work he's done, you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of little creative things.
Yeah, it's like 22 directing and then like 44 writing, something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Not long.
All right. So before we get into tonight's festivities, just wanted to remind everybody, make sure you Hellboy smash that subscribe button if you're joining us for the first time. That like and comment. Of course, we want to make this interactive tonight, so definitely leave a lot of comments, questions. We'll get through all those on the live show here. But yes, we're going to rank our top 5. So we each have our 5 personal favorite Del Toro movies. So we're going to start from the worst and work our way up to first place. So let's just kind of check in with the comments before we get into 5th place here, see who is joining us tonight. Movies with Ryan is
Who's that guy?
everywhere, even in the chat. Hope you all enjoy our Guillermo del Toro's top 5 discussion tonight. Don't forget to slap that like button and let us know your rankings as well. Yes, let us know your rankings. It's going to be really interesting just to see kind of everybody's opinions out there because Del Toro just has an amazing filmography of a lot of different kinds of titles. So just to see everybody's interest there will be, pretty fascinating. All right, we got Derek here. Are you down with Guillermo del Toro? Yay, I said his name right, finally. I was practicing his name right all day, and then when I went on live, I got it wrong like twice already, but I think I got it right now. So we're
You
gonna
don't
have
get better though.
I know, I like practicing it the whole day, and then when I first started the live, I'm like, oh, totally got it wrong. All right,
Legacy.
Movie Hunter 2020 evening, everyone. Smash that like button, absolutely. All right, got Craig, hi, Mike, and guest. The View with Drew. Hey, what's up? I think it's my first time seeing you, The View with Drew, in the chat. So if you're visiting for the first time, definitely subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for your comment and being able to join us today. All right, got Michael here. Hi, everyone. We got Movie Hunter 2020. Pan's Labyrinth was the first Blu-ray steelbook ever made
Yep.
in Italy. Oh,
Dang.
nice.
You know.
Adrian James says, "Hey everyone, hello, hello."
What's up,
Michael
Adrian?
says, "I met Guillermo del Toro in 2014. He signed my DVD covers of Blade 2 on Blu-ray and the first Puss in Boots. He
Ooh,
voiced
nice.
the ghost name. I see. I didn't know that. Thank you,
Oh, that's
Michael,
funny.
for giving us that fun fact there. And I'm not surprised about the signing, Michael. You're always bringing in the autograph. So no surprise there. Awesome. Thank you for joining us, of course. So we got Craig. Shape of Water is my favorite. So, already calling out the number one. We'll see how often that shows up on people's rankings tonight. The View with Drew, from what I've seen of Del Toro, the Hellboy movies are the best. Those are probably going to show up for sure on some people's rankings. Michael says Blade 2 is my favorite. And then Hisham and CT. Hello, good fellows. What do you wish for 2023? Hisham, we must keep these comments to Del Toro. Okay, I know you love to get in these different kind of comments out there. But yeah, definitely everybody in the chat, try to keep the comments to anything Guillermo Del Toro tonight.
We wish for more Guillermo del Toro in 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, 4K.
Yeah,
Jesus,
it
the
will
Oscar
be
for Pinocchio.
interesting to see the next project for sure after he's now finished with Pinocchio. It'll be great to see an announcement from him what he's working on next. The View is True. Yep, Blade 2 is awesome. Michael, we also have a photo that night outside the Egyptian theater. Ooh, super cool. All right, so let's see. And I feel like we're getting some static in the background. So if my panel can kind of mute themselves until they're ready to speak, I definitely appreciate it. But let's get into our fifth favorite Guillermo del Toro title. So starting with, of course, number 5. So Derek,
Okay.
what do we got for number 5?
So I've only seen this once. It could easily raise in my ranking upon repeat viewing. But I have his latest, not including Pinocchio. I'll write that. Nightmare Alley, and this is a remake, if anyone doesn't know that. But yeah, I actually really like this movie. It is visually stunning in every way possible, hence all the Oscar nominations. It squeaked its way into Best Picture, even though I did not expect that, so that was kind of cool. But Bradley Cooper is actually extremely underrated in this movie. He's really, really good. I'm trying to point at him, and I'm failing miserably. But yeah, Kate Blanchett, fantastic in this movie. Great cast. Rooney Mara, Toni Collette, everyone's favorite crazy mom. Who else is there? Willem Dafoe is awesome in this movie. Yeah, it's just a visual masterpiece. And I was going to say something specific about it. Now I'm forgetting. I love that the way it starts, hinting towards the way it's going to end, is wonderfully done, in my opinion. The only downside to this movie, I would say, is that it's 2.5 hours long. And it feels like it's 2.5 hours long. That's the worst thing about it. But otherwise, it's fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch it. I grabbed this on Black Friday. It was like $14 or something like that. So
Yeah, I remember when I watched that movie in theaters. To me, I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like two different movies. Did anybody feel that way when they watched it?
It is sort of
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's the
definitely
only thing that kind of
half.
threw me off. But Derek, do you prefer the first half more or the second half more?
Oh god, it's been so long since I watched it. I can't even answer. I mean, I probably think the first part's more interesting, but I love the ending so much. It's hard to pick, I guess. So, But overall, I'd say
This
the
is-
first half.
Oh, there we go. We got the
He's
original.
got the old one. Yeah, it's on Criterion. Yeah.
AB. How is that original? Because I have never seen that one.
They're both based on a novel, and I will say that until the ending, this is closer to the novel, and they changed the ending because they thought it was too dire, but Del Toro brought back the ending in his version. So the way it ends in his movie is the original novel ending. So I definitely like the new one a little bit more because as good as this was, it kind of departed from how the story was supposed to end. But both worth checking out, especially great double feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
5 hours
didn't
or
the
something.
new one, Derek? Didn't the new one get nominated for? Did it get nominated for Best Picture or something?
Yeah,
At the Oscars?
apparently. It got nominated for art direction, cinematography, costumes, and best picture. It was a really weird, a weird best picture nomination considering what else it got in for.
It might be on the strength of Del Toro himself that they give him the nod
Yeah,
for
that
Best
doesn't hurt
Picture.
Bradley Cooper. He's nominated for everything he does nowadays. So
True, true.
He's officially the most overdue person in Hollywood somehow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
American
All right,
Hustle.
Ben Buster. What do we got for number 5?
Number 5 is on my list just because I like kaiju, and I grew up loving Power Rangers. Yeah, and with those two put together, I have to go with Pacific Rim as my number 5. Just
Yeah,
because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of like kaiju's or shark movies, monster movies, kind of like that. And yeah, seeing all the kaiju in here really brought me back to my first watching of Godzilla that I ever watched. Like the original series that I saw on TV when I was a kid. It brought me back there, and it's like I wish I was in one of those mechs right now. I wish I was Idris Elba or Charlie Hunnam right now. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's one of the weird ones. I always forget it's a Guillermo del Toro movie because it's so different from everything else he's done.
Yeah, I totally
Exactly.
forgot about it too. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's in his filmography. I haven't seen it for the longest. So I put it on
Yeah.
last night to watch it just kind of as I was going to sleep. I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, it's way different than a lot of his other titles, and it's like
Yeah.
nonstop action too. Like I caught myself
Yeah.
like falling asleep, and I would wake up. I'm like, wait, there's still tons of action going on. Like every time I would wake up, I'm like, there's still tons of action. It's fun.
And
It's
it
a
has
fun
a
movie.
cool lenticular too.
Yeah, I got that 3D one. Yeah,
That's cool.
I like
Say
that.
well.
That's nice.
All right, so Eddie, what do we got?
All right. So for my number 5 is actually one that I don't own. I saw it for the first time leading up to this, actually. And that's Hellboy 2, Golden Army. I don't know. I really liked it. I like how it's like a comic book movie. It's full of action, but it also has a lot of moments, like heartwarming moments. You know, you got those themes of family. With I don't know. Are we talking spoilers or no?
It's been out for a while. Go for
Yeah,
it.
it's been out forever.
Just with the ending, like, well, not he finds out he's gonna be a father, and then I like those interactions with Abe when they're in the, I don't know, like some room and they're talking about love and they're drinking and they got the Barry Manilow playing. It's just a bunch of great moments. So yeah, it's Hellboy 2, solid. It was I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why we never got like a Hellboy 3. Like I don't remember. Did it just like bomb at the box office that second one?
Did
Two
okay.
kind of did was a kind of a disaster, as they called it. But after that, after the first one and second one, there's really no more people in the Hellboy. What should I say? Villain
Hellboy
repertoire.
universe.
Yeah, because they used everyone in the first 2 films. I mean, you could have went with that White Witch, the White Queen. You could have done that route, but it wasn't going to be really. They did everything in the first 2 films. That
Two went to Del Toro for him, is what it was.
Yeah, that too.
So kind of like a Tim Burton with like Batman Returns.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that. Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's very Batman Returns of him.
Yeah.
Good comparison. Really
Very
good
good comparison.
All right, KB, what do we got?
At number 5, I have to say that I thank the Criterion Collection for me discovering Del Toro and fallen in love with his work and his movies and everything before he really got popular here in the States. You know, he had the Spanish movies, and it wasn't the first one I saw, but my number 5 has to go to Kronos. That movie, when I first saw it, it was like when I was first getting into Criterion, and it was just like anything I could find at the library, I would just grab it and watch it. And wow, was it different? What I liked about it was a unique storytelling. I I would say after the first 20 minutes or so, I forgot I was reading subtitles and I just got lost in the story. And it's not one that I rewatch very often, but the impact of it definitely stays on my mind, even, you know, with the other movies, Devil's Backbone, all that stuff. But I easily can go back to Chrono. So although I can't find it with my other Criterions I have here, my other Blu-rays, I'm gonna have to put Chronos. I'm packing, I'm moving, guys. So it's a mess. I don't know where half of my stuff is right now. So yeah, I would have to go with
YouTube
Chronos
there,
at number
apparently.
5. Yeah,
It's good. I just watched it today for the first time. It was good. I liked it. It's
yeah.
an easy watch too.
Just the
It's like 90
impact of
minutes
it.
long, and
Yeah,
it's only like
quick.
half Spanish, half English because Ron Perlman's in it, and he speaks English most of the time, so it's kind of interesting.
Have you heard him talk about that when Del Toro approached him? He was like, "Yeah, I want you to be in my movie." He's like, "Well, I don't speak
I don't
Spanish." He
speak
goes, "I don't care.
Spanish.
I'm
Okay.
going to put you in it." And now it's it's been a long, life-lasting working relationship with the two. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was worth
And
it.
I was just about to say that you go from that to Hellboy, Hellboy 2, and you have that Perlman Del Toro connection working throughout the movie. So
Yeah.
definitely.
I was reading it. The only movie that doesn't have either Doug Jones or Ron Perlman is Devil's Backbone. That's the only movie he's made
Yeah.
that doesn't have either one or the of the other actors. I'm like, it does. That's weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's good to know for Kronos because I didn't know too much about the movie, but so it's half English, half Spanish then?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
How it kind of works out too?
Spanglish. Spanglish.
Spanglish.
Yeah, Spanglish, yeah.
And it's
Depends
a
on who's talking. Put it that
it's
way.
a horror movie, right? Horror genre?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
it's not like
With-
super scary, but it's very horror.
Cronenberg, like, I would say, in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But better storytelling.
All right, Ryan, what do we got?
All right. So the reason I like Del Toro is because he does quick world building, if that makes sense. He uses through his sets, his costumes, and just straight to the point storytelling. Like you really get involved into his stuff quickly. And I really like that about him. For number 5, I picked Crimson Peak, which
Mm.
is a horror story set, was it Gothic times. Basically, Tom Hiddleston is a prince guy, and he decides he's going to marry this girl for a reason. His sister doesn't like it, and they move into his castle and come find out the castle is haunted. And this is just a kind of a trip. It's done really well. The set designs in this is beautiful. The costumes are beautiful. It's got who all's in it? Mia Warshkashka, whatever her name is, Jessica Chastain, Tom Hiddleston, Charlie Hunnam. I mean, it's got a great cast in it too, and the visuals in this is awesome. The CGI effects are kind of not the greatest, but I've noticed that through a lot of his ghost type movies that he has a very distinct ghost style. So Crimson Peak, number 5.
Great
Yeah,
art direction in that.
Yeah, I need to watch
Yes.
that again because I could not get into that movie, but it's gorgeous though to look at.
Pretty. So
It
pretty.
is hard to get into, but it is just so pretty.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time last night, and I love the use of the color red in there. Like anytime you
Yeah.
see red, it just super sticks out. Like with the red with the snow, looks awesome. So it's a
So
nice
good.
looking movie for sure. All right, let's take a look at these comments. See where we are at here. Let's see. All right. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, Mega Movie Mama is saying hello to everyone. We got Michael, watch my video, a chain reaction of autographs that shows the movies Blade 2 and Puss in Boots autographed and talked about. Oh, nice.
Cool.
All right, Hisham says, why Guillermo del Toro never direct Hellboy 3? Oh, we were just mentioning that. Guess we ran out of some characters there. Blade Trinity and Pacific Rim Uprising. Yeah, I don't think he's directed any sequels, has he? For any of his movies?
Well, Hellboy
Not just
2.
Hellboy, yeah.
Oh, just
Besides
Hellboy.
Hellboy
It's the
Yeah.
only
2.
one he did both
Oh,
of them.
okay, yeah.
Blade
Mike-
Trinity was a mess from the get go between
It really
Wesley
was.
Snipes and just there was a whole bunch of stuff that went on, and
there
I
was.
don't think he wanted anything to do with it. Honestly,
He was on to
Which
better
it would
things
have
at
been-
that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it would have been a better movie if he would have, got to direct it. But
Oh, for sure.
it is what it is.
Yep, Michael saying it was a remake, referring to the Hellboy remake. Yep. Yeah, that one I didn't care too much for. Kal-El Daily says, "What up, Benny, Drew, and Eddie? What up, KB?" Michael says Hellboy 2 was released a week before Dark Knight, which was better, but
Yeah.
Hellboy 2 was still good. All right, Hisham says Blade 2 was a masterpiece movie in my opinion, but unfortunately people didn't.
Same year as Iron Man as well.
Yeah.
Adrian says I enjoyed the first two Hellboy films. Mike says Hisham, many enjoyed Blade 2. I enjoyed Blade 2 myself.
Everyone likes Blade 2, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone has seen it. Everyone likes Blade at least.
I mean, especially after Blade Trinity. I mean, that just
Yeah.
I think
Everything's
anything
good
after
compared to
that,
Blade
man.
Trinity.
All right, Adrian says I like Blade 2. It's the best in the trilogy. Ooh, that's Adrian's favorite. Nice. Michael says, KB, wouldn't you have Kronos in your Criterion collection behind you?
Yeah,
You would.
I would.
Well, your kids probably
I'm
have
also-
it. They knew you were going to be on the stream, so they stole it
You
from
know,
you.
it's that, and I'm missing that, and it happened one night, and that was brand new, still in the plastic, but now I got it on 4K, so now I'm like, okay, whatever.
You use it to lean your or even out your desk under the leg.
All right, Adrian says I like the character in Hellboy 2 who is voiced by Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Oh, Mika's in the house. Hello, Mika. Crimson
Mika!
Peak is a
What's
great
up, sis?
film. It's very underrated in my
Mika.
opinion. One of my faves from him. Beautiful imagery. Yep, it's a nice looking movie. Absolutely. Gus says hello, everyone. Gus is in the house. Adrian. Yeah, everybody shout out Gus. Hi, Mika. Gus says hello, Mike, Derek, Eddie, KB, Ryan, and Ben Buster. Hi,
What's up, Gus?
Adrian. Hi, Movie Hunter.
Hello.
Hi, Mika. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Awesome. Oh, we got Mama Blu-ray in the house.
Mama!
What's up, honey?
Hi, guys. Gus says hi, Mama Blu-ray. Yeah, everybody shouting out Mama Blu-ray now. All right. Nice. Okay. Oh, I totally forgot to do my choice. I'm like, was I
I was
forgetting
going to say something, but I'm like, all right.
Hello?
I'm like, was I forgetting something? Did everybody go? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to me. So mine doesn't have a physical release yet, so we're gonna go with Pinocchio. Yes, just checked out Pinocchio on Netflix. I think this movie was great, really cool with the stop motion animation. I thought the voice acting was phenomenal, and I like the story too. At first, I'm like, okay, it's just gonna be another Pinocchio story, same thing over and over again. We've seen this 100 times. No, but it's way different from Disney's Pinocchio. It goes in some dark turns, and just the opening is fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything, of course, for anybody out there.
It's
But yeah,
it's more true
gets
to the
dark
actual
at the
story.
moment. Yeah, it's a great story though. I really enjoyed it. All the characters worked really well, and I mean, you just kind of connect to like Geppetto and the loss he goes through, and Pinocchio and all that stuff. So really like that movie. So for a streaming title on Netflix, which I'm usually not impressed by, I was pretty impressed by that one. So that one was awesome. So it just barely made my list at number 5. Did you guys get a chance to watch Pinocchio?
Yeah, I watched it today.
Yeah, I did.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of the Pinocchio story in general. But pretty much the only two Pinocchios you need to watch are that one and then the original 1940 Pinocchio, and then you're good. You don't need to watch any Pinocchio ever.
Well, I mean, yeah, compared to the new Disney one, I'm like, this is a masterpiece.
Oh, God.
If you watch that Disney one and then you go watch Del Toro's one, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. The production design is like amazing in the stop motion Pinocchio.
Yeah. Yeah, and like hear him talk about it too. When if you ever seen Del Toro's interviews on it, just like the work he had to do with the stop motion animation. I mean, it's just like an
Mhm.
art form in itself. Like how long did that take? So many hours just to do all those movements, and they seem
Well,
so lifelike too as well. It's
if
amazing.
it's anything like Nightmare Before Christmas, it took them like what was it, 1,200 positions for Jack Skellington just to do 1 second of film. So it's like him moving like his arms around everywhere. Took him 1,200 different poses just to get down a couple seconds with on film.
Yeah, it's just like the change one of their expressions. It's like, okay, let's move the eyebrows up now. It's like, and then you have to do the
Yeah.
one shot of it and like keep going with it. But how he did it too, like he made them seem more real life by like how just they moved and would make mistakes. And like you're like, oh, these are like how actual people would move around kind of sloppily. So it was really breathtaking. Excellent. All right, let's take a look at let's see, let's get into now our fourth favorite Guillermo del Toro title. But once again, if you're just joining in, of course, Cowboy smash that subscribe button. If you're just visiting for the first time, make sure you like, of course, and comment as well. We want to make this a very interactive stream tonight. And then also, everybody's channel links are in the description below. So definitely make sure you go show them some love out there, visit their channel, watch some videos. I know we all appreciate that. So that's always wonderful. Thank you so
Yep.
much. All right. So fourth favorite Guillermo del Toro title. Derek, what do we got?
Well, we were talking about it already, so let's bring it up. Blade Trinity. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. Blade 2. We got the nice Blade triple feature here. You could argue whether or not the first or second one is better. I personally really like both of them, which is pretty much the only reason this is number 4 instead of number 3 is that I kind of like the first one better from nostalgic reasons. So, for personal stuff. But Blade 2 is fantastic, with the exception of the really bad early 2000s rubber people CGI fight sequences. Blade 2 is about as good as a Blade movie can get, and the creature effects are awesome. I can't remember what they're called. It's been so long since I watched it, but the actor who plays the main villain, that's what I thought. I'm like Reavers or something. The makeup and like the way his mandibles open up is like the coolest thing ever. And he's the same actor who plays the villain in Hellboy 2, and he's awesome in that as well. So props to this movie for just being a damn good comic book sequel, especially when it wasn't made by the same person who did the original, which is very rare when that happens, and they're equally or better in quality. So yeah, I just like me some Blade, except for the third one, which sucks. I haven't watched it since it came out in theaters. So.
What? 3 is good. 3 is good.
Stop lying.
Yes, it is.
Dracula's
full Ryan Reynolds.
Dracula's the new one, for God's sakes. It's got Triple H in it though, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Ben Buster.
And Jessica Biel, you guys are forgetting about her.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, I would have to say it's something that can not only be a liquid, a solid, but can also be a gas. What is it? Well, that's the shape of water. So number 4 is Shape of Water. I mean, to me, this movie dealing with loneliness, seeing Doug Jones' performance, and that kind of twist at the end that I didn't. Honestly, I say it's a twist because I didn't see it coming with the main protagonist in there. It took me a couple times to watch it to really understand what was going on, and I enjoyed it. So it's my number 4 on my list.
Oh, nice. All right, let's go to Eddie. Eddie, what do we got?
All right, so same here. I'm going with the same one, Shape of Water. Yeah, I mean, I think it's deserving of all the awards. Just a great movie. I thought it was kind of weird at first. It took me a while to get into the story, but I really enjoyed it. I think that like you can say this about all of the Toro's movies. They're really like aesthetically pleasing. Like the color palette, it's just beautiful to look at, and of course, the creature design is just always really well done in all his movies. And yeah, I agree with Ben there. I mean, the ending was like it caught me off guard too. I wasn't expecting that, but I thought overall it was a really solid story, and like I said, just really nice, aesthetically pleasing film. So, Shape of Water, I think, like I said, really good movie, deserving of all the awards.
Nice. All right, KB, what do we got?
This is where I'm placing Crimson Peak. I upgraded to the hour release of this because of the special features. And just like we were alluding to before, the colors in this movie is just outstanding. There's a feature on here called The Light and Dark of Crimson Peak, where they talk about the film's use of color. And that just reinforces everything we've been saying about it with the art direction and their choices of colors and so forth. So, yeah, this is like a lot of people try to do gothic types of movies these days, but this to me is a great gothic romance. Um, just a great storytelling, and the way he directs the movie is outstanding to me. It's one that I loved from the first time, and everything from the way it was shot, those large scale rooms and everything, and the camera angles that he chose, just not something traditional. It's so easy to go to traditional route and get like medium shots and hang on characters and everything, and just the way it was shot was unique, and I really, really love that about this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you would say the Arrow release is worth it then, just for the special features?
Yeah, I think the transfer is about the same. The sound is upgraded. It has a 7.1 DTS-X surround sound, but
And it's got the cooler cover on it too.
yeah,
helps, right?
I wish I had
Yeah.
the one with the hardcover, but
Yeah.
by the time I got it, it was on sale. So I'm like, hey, I'm here for the movie, not the slip. So yeah.
No slip, no dip.
Watch
Hey,
you say that around
I
now.
did for the special features this time. I had to get
Yeah.
it, so it was definitely worth the upgrade.
And that's a Blu-ray release, right? They don't have a 4K,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah,
For them?
No, not yet, not yet. But if Arrow releases a 4K, yeah, this will find a new home very quickly. Because
You should be able to
it
pull
will-
my big fat head down, and I'll be back in my original spot
Yeah.
there, Mike, if you need to.
No worries.
Yeah, you
'cause
could
I'm
drag
like,
it
where
down.
did I put everybody?
Oh, there you go.
And I
But,
think we had
Nope.
This is a movie that would greatly benefit from HDR, like on a 4K or something.
Yeah, I'd actually like to watch it again in 4K because it is a gorgeous movie, and I just didn't get into the story when I watched it the first time. So perhaps it
Yeah.
would help. Who knows?
All right.
I assumed the twist ending the entire movie. I was like, oh, okay. I thought that's just what was happening. Didn't get to me at all. Too smart for that movie, apparently.
All right. So me and KB are just swapping spots. I've got my copy though. Chronos.
All right.
So I did
looks-
just watch this for the first time this weekend. But it's a pseudo vampire movie is what I'd really call it. But takes place in the 1940s, I believe, and just a unique movie, I would say. I mean, it's not like really. I don't. It's straightforward. It doesn't wander. Kind of gets to the point real quick. Basically, there's this device that gives people everlasting life, and it really doesn't go into much more about that. And you got two guys that are contemplating their lives, trying to get a hold of it, or one to keep it, one to get a hold of it. But again, his world building, he does it so quickly in this. Like you're immediately invested into what's going on, what this device is about. The gentleman that finds it, and then it's a very quick give and take between the protagonist and the antagonist, and I really liked it. It kind of makes you question if you would you want to live forever if you had the opportunity, and that's what I like about the two main characters in this, because there's that dueling between them two about yes you should, no you shouldn't, if that makes sense. Either way, Chronos, that's mine.
Never thought of it as a pseudo vampire movie, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it kinda
if you're
is.
talking about immortality, that's pretty much what you're talking about.
I mean, the guy licks blood off the bathroom floor, for Christ's sake.
I did that last Thursday. What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
Don't do that. I love the shots in that movie of the inside of the device. Like when they show
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you
It's
see the
so
gears
intricate.
turning and
I'm
everything.
like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's too
Ooh.
like this
See,
giant thing.
You guys are getting me hyped for this movie. I'm like a device, so it's like kind of like Hellraiser in a way. It's like a
Kinda.
Like there's a device though that
Almost
does
like a
something.
scarab beetle thing that like
Yeah.
So
itself
this
into
thing
you,
on the front, it looks like a turtle shell, but you got to do something to it, and it turns into like a scorpion.
yeah,
I would say would be like the closest thing, because like
yeah.
you can see the legs that pop out, and then it's
That's
got a
the
little
tail,
yeah.
And don't forget
But
the
yeah,
blood
when they
sucker.
show the insides of it with the gears moving and all that, it's really, really, really cool.
Very
especially because
interesting.
it's real. Back in 1993 or whatever.
He has
Yeah,
a
it's
fascination
definitely
with like wartime or post-wartime movie settings. I noticed.
Yeah,
Whether it's
half of his movies are
1,
like
2,
Spanish Civil War related somehow.
Spanish War. Yeah.
Yeah, because Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth both take place during the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're very similar.
Well, speaking of Pan's Labyrinth, I will pull Pan's Labyrinth. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Criterion copy of Pan's Labyrinth. So this might be higher on a lot of people's list. I've only seen it like 1.5 times. So I probably got to give it a few more rewatches there. But I really like the movie still. I think visually it's amazing. Just all the creature designs are fantastic. Like the toad is super cool. The fairy, the fawn is amazing as well. And I think in the special features, I learned that, the fawn, the actor actually learned how to speak Spanish for that role, if I'm remembering correctly. And I thought that was really cool because all the voice performance there was absolutely amazing. But yeah, creature design, fantastic. Visually looks really stunning. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. So that's why it's number 4 on my list. But I don't know if that's too low for everybody else. That may be some people's number 1 and whatnot. But I thought the story is fun. It's kind of like a fairy tale story mixed into a realistic, postmodern war setting. So I still feel like I need to digest the movie to understand it a little bit more. But yeah. Oh, we gotta see movies with Brian. We gotta see this background real quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
That's another awesome creepy design right
Sexy
there.
pale
oh,
man.
Yes,
That was awesome. That one's super creepy too. It's like
yes.
do not want to run into that one. All right, let's look at these comments, see where everybody's at here. All right, let's see. Michael says, I just watched Pinocchio a few days ago. I found it uneven and darker than it needed to. The animation was very well done and an interesting blend of animation styles, but the script was frustrating. Ooh, I thought it was a great script myself.
Oh, and the
That's-
dark comes from the original book too.
Yeah.
The original book is
Yeah.
dark.
Oh yeah, all those
Every
fairy
Disney
tale
movie
stories
does
are
story is
super
dark
dark.
as hell. Basically. Little Mermaid and stuff.
Gus says pitchforks to Derek's house. Or
Pinchforks?
pitchforks. I'm guessing pitchforks. Pitchforks.
Why?
There we go, pitchforks. Yep.
Pitchforks might be worse, man. Everybody come at
Oh
you.
yeah,
all
why are you
crab like?
pinchforking
Yeah.
me?
Like some crabs or something.
I'm gonna pinch you.
Give you some purple nurples.
Gus says don't care for Pinocchio. Like Pinocchio in
that's
general,
right.
or just Del Toro's Pinocchio?
No, just like the story in general. Like,
Story,
okay,
yeah.
whatever. Like I still like the movie. It's just like whatever. It's
Michael
one of those
says
up and down kind of things.
the World War II footage was unnecessary and it had an unsatisfying ending that feels anticlimactic, sort of like the final flashback of Edward Scissorhands mixed with its abrupt ending. Well, I really like Edward Scissorhands, so it worked for me.
It's abrupt ending.
Michael says, My Blade 2 Blu-ray is also autographed. I'm not surprised. All right, Mika says, I would say my number 4 would be Devil's Backbone. Yeah, I have that one around here, but
It was really good.
Make
I
my
did like it.
list. But yeah, it's solid. Mega Movie Mom says, Shape of Water was interesting, but wasn't it a remake? I don't think it was. I
No.
saw it
I'm
a
aware of
similar
it.
movie when I was a kid. What was that movie? Gus says, I love DTS.
You're probably thinking of Hellboy because the fish from
Oh,
Shape of
yeah.
Water looks
Abe Sapien.
Looks
Yeah.
super
Yeah, Abe
similar. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it's like a spiritual sequel.
Played by
to
the
that,
same
and it
actor.
is the
Yeah, it's the same actor.
Yeah.
This the same character. All right, Michael says, Gus, is your Pinocchio comment directed at? I don't know, Michael.
No.
All right, Gus says, Pan's Labyrinth is so good. Yeah, a lot of people love it. I liked it too, and it might be, I don't know if it's just like because it's a foreign language film. I gotta like try to get more into it. I gotta really pay attention with the subtitles because watching it again too, like I feel like I was missing stuff because I like wasn't able to
Mhm.
read as fast with it. I'm like, oh, I missed something up. Yeah,
It
so
always
it
helps
doesn't
to watch
kind of
those more than once, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Foreign films in general.
Michael says pinchforks
Pinchfork.
might be worse. Yep. Hmm. All right, let's get into now. We're on number 3, right? Third favorite Guillermo del Toro title. Ooh, we're getting the top threes now. Okay, these are gonna be spicy. All right, Derek, what do we got?
Rap music with this one. It's about part of lenticular covers. I got Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. This is one of the first Blu-rays I
Nice.
bought, actually.
Nice, like
I
that.
wish it
Cover.
was the whole cover, but that's
Yeah.
cool. Or it's a good one. But yeah, this is substantially better than the first one, in my opinion. It is about as Guillermo del Toro as it gets. Like we were saying before, it's basically the Batman Returns of the franchise. The first one is good. I like the first one, but it kind of takes like the easy way out of having the main character be just like some normal guy you follow around. But this one, it gets rid of that guy completely, and it's just all the awesome weirdness of the comic book. And yeah, the makeup in this movie is like some of the greatest I've ever seen. And it's just a fun, good comic book sequel. One of the better comic book sequels that does not get appreciated as often as it should, I would say.
Facts.
And yeah, like
Facts.
Abe Sapien is fantastic in it. And I forget who, I know it's Doug Jones playing him in the suit, but I forget if he does the voice in the second one because it's not in the first one. It's David Hyde Pierce. And then Seth MacFarlane's character is fantastic too.
Johan.
He's
Oh,
like
Johan
this,
Kraus.
I can't think of his name, but he's like the ghost inside of like the scuba suit. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Johan Kraus.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
a while to watch. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a solid comic book movie if you like comic book movies.
All right,
All
Ben
right.
Buster, you ready?
Well, yep. Number 3. I'm a huge fan of puppets and stop motion animation, so my number 3 would have to be his version of Pinocchio. Pretty much the same reasons why you like it, Mike, is the reasons I do. Like, the stop motion animation is great. The puppetry in there is amazing. Just the way he does it with scenes and everything. Like, I saw a picture of him when he was talking about, like, the picture that of the article was him looking through the window of Geppetto's shop. And you see the little puppet Pinocchio right there with him just smiling through the window. I'm like, that shows you the intricacy of detail that this guy has for his eyes for any movie he does.
Yep.
So my number 3 is Pinocchio.
He did all that without moving his lips. That was impressive.
I know. Ben, you're froze.
Ventriloquist.
It's okay. We heard the voice though. That's all.
Yeah, we got that
Yes.
part right. Yeah, I think
The presence.
there's a special feature about it on Netflix you can watch, or it's just like a little thing that plays after the movie. But I think he said like there's a Pinocchio statue or maquette or whatever you want to call it that's like 12 feet tall, like just to get the different scales. So like there's some that are this big and then some that are like 12 feet tall in the movie, and it's just absurd just to get all these different kinds of shots in there. That's impressive.
Highly detailed.
All right, Eddie, what do we got?
All right, so my number 3, I caught this one in theaters, Nightmare Alley, which I haven't seen the original KB, by the way. I want to get that criterion, but yeah, Nightmare Alley, I think it's fantastic. I guess like I really loved Bradley Cooper's performance. I think he's probably one of the best parts of the movie. Like kind of his portrayal of this like tragic character, kind of on this path, self-destruction. I like how there's no real like hero in this movie. Usually you got like your main protagonist and you're rooting for him. I feel like everyone in this movie is just kind of crappy, like they're except for the actress Rooney Mara's character. I really like her in this as well. And like referring to your question earlier, you can kind of feel like it's two movies and like kind of two different movies. I feel like the second half is more like Del Toro's style, but I kind of prefer the first half. I don't know why. I think it's like it focuses more on the circus aspect, and you got Willem Dafoe featured more in it, so I like that. Even though like I said, second half is more like not so much supernatural, but that those shots when Rooney Mara's actress is pretending to be that. I don't know if this is a spoiler. I don't want to spoil. Never mind. I don't want to get into spoilers, but yeah, just great. And that final shot, I'm not going to say what it is if you haven't seen it, but just so haunting. Just made that film so memorable to me.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Eddie, with that first half. I definitely prefer the circus stuff, just like the whole aesthetic of it, how it's like filmed is really cool too. And Defoe is awesome. So it's like when we get into the second half, I'm like, wait, where did that awesome setting go? Where did those characters go? And it's like we're on a whole new like story, and I'm like, so that kind of disappoints me in the second half. Not like the
Yeah.
second half
Also,
is bad or anything. I just prefer the first half.
yeah. Also, when like Kate Blanchett's character starts being featured more, I was kind of lost me there. Like I wasn't really sure like what some of her motives were or something things like that. But yeah, it was still a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I think she's great in that movie.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah,
But it's
Bradley
like
Cooper.
she kind of takes over the movie in the second half,
She really does.
like
Yeah, absolutely.
motivations and so forth.
All
Yeah,
right,
I need to
KB,
rewatch
what
that
is
one.
that?
All right, I promise you something special for number 3. So,
Ah,
I don't use instant classic very often, but and maybe it's Disney's terrible taste still in my mouth from earlier this year. But yeah, this is an instant classic. But I didn't want to show you this. This is a Blu-ray. What I wanted to show you, and shout out to whoever helped me get this, is this.
Oh, cool.
This is a large, very detailed coffee book that came with that. And in it, there are lots of behind the scenes stuff like this.
Oh, nice concept art and stuff.
Yeah, concept art. You could see the Guardian, the way it was originally drawn and portrayed. There's even inserts with like sketchings and stuff over the pages.
Nice.
So it's going to take me a good while to go through this, but very detailed. If you love this movie, it's going to give you pretty much everything that you wanted to know about the movie. And what I liked about it is it would be very easy for you to go back and focus like on the Disney version or whatever. But the thing about Del Toro, if he's doing some kind of adaptation, he tries to get back to the original as much as possible. I mentioned that with Nightmare Alley. You see that here. And he always brings his brand of darkness to any movie. I would say his brightest movie, Bright, would be Pacific Rim, because everything else has that little bit of gothic darkness, horror that's built into it, even if
Yep.
it's not a true horror movie. And you got to love that. It's his personality. And the other thing, and I would mention that in reference to this movie, is that he's a lifelong film student. So you see how he brings aspects of understanding and studying film and film history in whatever he does. And you could see, not even to say it's a trope or anything, but you see how he understands something about film and he brings it and he brings his own style to it. You got to appreciate that. So, once again, I don't use instant classic very often, but this is an instant classic. And I hope it gets some love this award season.
Yeah, well.
It reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? First time I saw Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I
Sure.
I loved the detail that went into making that. Isle of Dogs, maybe not so much, but Fantastic Mr. Fox for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got all the good stuff with that, KB, all the book and everything. I'm like, ooh, that's nice.
I try.
Yeah, are a lot of people talking about Pinocchio right now? I feel like it's not like highlighted very well. At least like when I go on Netflix, I don't even know if I see it in the top 10 anymore.
Who was talking about that picture where he's looking?
Yeah. That's like that was like the first
back.
like promotional picture that came out for that. I think was him.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, here you go.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to win Best Animated Feature. So.
Oh yeah, it's the best thing I've
he'll
seen.
He'll get his third Oscar, so that's cool this year.
Good for him.
All right, so I think we're on to me now. Yes.
no,
Okay.
no,
Ryan.
no,
Oh,
no,
did I skip over? Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry because I
Ben
added
Buster
Never
messed
mind.
us up again.
Yes, I'm like,
I'm sorry
all the
for all
order
those
here.
out there.
Okay. We're all
I was frozen, and so I
There we
got out
go.
and went back in
There you
again.
go.
So
Threw me off, Ben.
Back in
Buster. I'm
business.
like, oh, okay.
Sorry.
Here we go.
All right.
Ryan, it's your turn.
So I'm in agreement with Derek. I like Hellboy 1. It does a really good job of introducing him. It's true to the comic. You really get a sense that Del Toro knew what he was doing. But I definitely, and as you can see, it's got a dent right in the middle of it. Hellboy 2 is a better movie. One, there is better character development in it, I believe. You see a better arc with Hellboy, like saying about him talking about love and wanting to live a life and all that. And just the set designs and the characters are fantastic. I love the Queen and the supposed to be king. The fight scenes in it are awesome. And it's just a beautiful, over-the-top Del Toro movie. I mean, like I said, it is the most Del Toro-est of Del Toro movies, probably. But Hellboy 2 is my number 3. I got to get that dent out.
That's a nice looking steelbook,
It's cool.
though.
You know,
I
a
know,
lot
I
of
was about to say, I like
landscape
that.
steelbooks.
Yeah,
That's I think that's only like the second one I've ever seen.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Blu-ray,
Yeah.
right? Blu-ray steelbook.
Yes, it is Blu-ray.
What country?
It's
that's
got
so
inside
cool.
art.
Oh, let
I
me.
guess. Oh,
Let's
there
see,
we go.
Let's see that.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's cool looking.
That's nice.
Look at all those
That's
ratings.
from the UK, Ryan?
Yes.
UK or Germany?
No, it is Germany. Yep, it's got the German
Okay.
logo on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thought I saw that.
Yep. You are good eyes. You are correct.
Yeah, we need a 4K steelbook of that second one for sure. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be dope.
All right, now let's see. Let's get.
Now it's your turn, Mike.
Now
Yeah.
it's you.
Oh, like let me organize over here. Okay, I think we're back. All right, there we go. Okay, now.
Everyone's moving around but me
That's
for some
fine.
reason.
All right, yeah. So yeah, we'll go with Blade 2. Great sequel. A lot of fun action sequences. I think the villains work really well too. They're like hybrid vampire looking creature things. So I think those are a lot of fun. I still prefer Blade 1 over it. I still think Blade 1's a little bit more memorable, but still like Blade 2. Have fun with all the characters. And once again, like the explosive action sequences throughout, I think are really fun. I'm a big superhero fan, so comic book movie fan. I have to throw Blade 2 on there somewhere. So that's why Blade 2 is so high up on my list. But it's a good sequel. And that's sometimes all we can hope for with comic book movies. So I'll take a good sequel.
Mhm, mhm.
Especially back then.
Oh, yeah, especially back then. Yep. All right, let's see where we're at with these comments here. Let's see. All right. Yes, I know. I should definitely be starring these comments. Oh, yeah, I did. I think I did. Here we go. Michael says I just watched. Oh, nope. Sorry. I did not. All right. Oops. Okay. Let's go here. Let's see. All right. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Michael says no one mentioned Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, produced by Del Toro. Yeah, I didn't put any produced movies here on the list. I only put directed movies because he has a ton of produced stuff out there. That'd be a whole nother list. Because he's been a part of a lot of different projects, just on the producer level.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Is that what you're talking about?
Is it?
Yeah.
Scary Stories?
Yeah.
Or is there another thing also called similar to that I don't know about? Scary
It's
Stories is
probably
pretty good,
scary stories.
not bad. My 4-year-old liked it, a year ago when he watched it. So
Yes. And Ben Buster has the superpowers to freeze. He's just like Sub-Zero. So so we get frozen Ben Buster. Michael says, at least we agree about Pinocchio stop motion animation. Yeah, that stop motion animation is fantastic. Mika says 3 for me would be the 1997 film Mimic. I've always enjoyed it, and the creature design was so good. Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to show up on anybody's list because I've never seen the movie, so I have no idea about it. Anybody want to say anything about Mimic out there? Unless it is on someone's list.
I started watching it,
but
but
half hour of it today for the first time since it came out, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. That's probably for a reason, but it's not bad. It's a '90s creature feature that he happened to direct. That's really all you can say about it.
I was just gonna say I started watching it, but I fell asleep, so I didn't get to finish it.
So it's one of those.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's a starter movie. So
I haven't watched it since
during
it
the
came
day.
out.
I know it's about bugs. So,
Smart cockroaches.
Yeah, it's like a bug that was designed
Yeah.
to kill cockroaches that like
Mhm.
evolves into like the mimic thing, where it's like this
Mm.
humanoid cockroach monster or something like that.
Mm.
It's got
That
Josh
sounds like-
Brolin in it. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds kind of like a Piranha 2 from what I heard.
No,
All right. Let's see. Gus says, I really enjoyed Nightmare Alley. I love Kate Blanchett so much. My favorite actress in there was Rooney Mara. To me, she's the one who stood out.
she's good too.
I like Rooney Mara.
Kate Blanchett
Understated
is the
performance.
monkey in Pinocchio too, I think, which is hilarious.
Gus says she plays villains so good.
She plays everything well.
Yeah, she
Adrian
does.
says, Mika, I saw Mimic at cinema and I enjoyed it. Ooh. Mika says, it's a fun one, Adrian. Michael says, when it Shape of Water be his brightest movie. I feel that movie's pretty dark.
Yeah.
I would say Pacific Rim because it's always the one you're like,
Compared
oh yeah, that's
to-
a Guillermo del Toro movie, and the only like
Compared to Pacific Rim, yeah.
the only thing that really seems like it's his is like the creature designs and stuff.
Yeah,
And the
Michael
color
says,
palette.
I've seen all of his movies he directed except Mimic.
It's on HBO Max.
Michael says, no, Derek, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish should win Best Animated Feature.
I'll take your word for it. I hear it's
So
great.
there.
I'm not gonna argue.
I thought it was all right. Some people love it, though, but
The first one
I
was pretty
definitely go Pinocchio over it for sure.
You always got to
Mike-
vote against DreamWorks and Disney if you can.
Yep. Michael says, don't be afraid of the dark is scary without tons of blood. It does have some killing in it, but mostly it's a creature popping up in front or on the sides of the camera, and they only appear in the dark.
So there is a Don't Be Afraid of the Dark out there, or
I
are we
don't
still
know,
talking about
Michael.
scary stories?
I don't know. Michael's saying this. Don't be afraid of the dark. I don't know.
I'm sure there's something called that. I don't know.
It just
Who
says,
the hell
what if
knows
Del
nowadays?
Toro remake the Wizard of Oz movie? Could you see that
No.
happening?
That
The
would be
original-
awesome.
It would be awesome, but we will get something more like the Return to Oz.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, it'd be interesting if he did it.
I'd rather see that.
I would rather see a
That'd be
remake of
fun.
Return to Oz with Guillermo del Toro. Because Wizard of Oz is so beloved, we're not going to see the Wizard of Oz being remade. They've tried it with they've tried it a couple times and it just hasn't worked.
All right, Michael says, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish was the best movie I saw this year. I'm glad you enjoyed that one so much.
Mhm.
That's excellent. Let's see, where are we at? All right.
Scary
once
stories
again-
to tell in the dark. Scary.
I'm like, I know
Scary
he did
tales
that,
tell in the
and
dark.
I'm like,
Okay.
maybe he did something else.
Because I'm like, I've heard of
close.
that one. I haven't heard of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. but
There is a
I
Don't
know
Be Afraid of the
the-
Dark, but I don't think Del Toro was involved in
uh,
that.
Yeah, Scary
a
Stories is
series.
pretty decent actually for like a PG-13 like teenager horror movie. It's pretty damn creepy. Has some cool stuff.
I keep forgetting the director's name. I had to just look at it to see what it was again. Andre Overdahl.
Oh, for Scary Stories.
Ooh, that's
Need
it.
to check that one out
That's
again. I
what
haven't seen it
Scary
since
Stories
It's
theaters.
cool. Yeah, it's a good little
There you go.
Oh,
quasi family friendly
Yeah.
anthology horror.
Yeah, it's a good starter.
that one with the long hair just walking in the hallways.
Mhm.
So creepy.
Yeah. I think my kid just calls her creepy lady. I know what he's talking about.
All right, so I think we're now on to second favorite. If I'm right on the order, everybody did their third favorite.
That's what I've got.
So second favorite, Guillermo del Toro title. So the runner-ups here. What do we got, Derek?
This movie's from the director of Blade 2 and Hellboy, which is Guillermo del Toro. I'm going Pan's Labyrinth. I just like that he uses those two examples on here. From the makers of these comic book movies that have nothing to do with this and are not as good.
I like that
Pan's
artwork.
Labyrinth is fantastic. Here's the nice, boring studio Blu-ray release, if you're curious. I got this at a pawn shop when I used to work there, probably. I don't remember. But yeah, this movie is very good. I liked it more multiple times after watching it. It is a Spanish Civil War movie, like we were saying earlier. And after watching Devil's Backbone today, they are essentially companion pieces to one another, where this is like the feminine version, and then the Devil's Backbone is like the more masculine version of a similar story. which is cool. But I prefer this one mainly because of the amazing creature effects. Doug Jones as the Fawn and the Pale Man is outstanding. And his performance and the makeup they use is just ridiculously good. This was, I think, it was nominated for 6 Oscars, and it ended up winning 3 of them. But it didn't win Best Foreign Film. Surprisingly, that was like one of the only surprises that year. I remember that it won 3 Oscars, but didn't win the one everyone thought it was going to win. But yeah, good art direction, good everything. The only reason it's probably not my number one is because I need to watch it more, and the hurdle of subtitles making me enjoy things just slightly less while watching them is the only reason it's probably not my number one. But it's a fantastic movie.
All right, Ben Buster, what do you got?
All right. My number 2 has been said a couple times right here, but it is Blade 2 right there. My nice 3-pack on my DVD right there. Blade 2. Well, the reason I threw this up into number 2, like, it's probably one of the, like we've all stated, it's one of the best sequels out there in a comic book movie. And Guillermo del Toro wanted to do this movie just because he was sick and tired of the Victorian romanticism of vampires. He wanted to make them scary again, and he did just that in this movie. There we go.
Good point. Good point.
Yep.
And there's very 30 Days of Night style vampires in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Compared to something else.
All right, Eddie, what do you got?
All right, so my number 2 is this Devil's Backbone. Great. Oh, where is it? There we go. I can't get it in the camera there. I'm all over the place. Yeah, I just saw this for the first time leading up to this, and I loved it. It was an amazing film. Unfortunately, I speak Spanish, so I can kind of follow without having to read the subtitles, but I still glance, of course. And the thing about that, though, is I feel like they're not always 100% accurate. Like, whatever they're saying, it's not truly, it's impossible to get the perfect translation. But especially with, what is this, 1939. So Spanish in Spain at the time is different from modern, Mexican Spanish, whatever you want to call it. But so there's a different words there. But I feel like this is Del Toro's most personal film. Like, he was really able to make it his own and really pour his heart and soul into this without, I guess, much, interference. It wasn't like a huge blockbuster or anything. So he really had a lot to say with his ghost design. And, of course, the storytelling was just really amazing. Because if you watch a trailer, it looks like just a horror movie, like a ghost story type of thing. And it's really not. There's a lot more to it. It's because it not only features, horror, supernatural elements, but also like real life horror because it takes place during the war and there's like betrayal and murder. And it's just real life horrific events heavily featured here as well. So a lot of similarities to like Crimson Peak, in my opinion. Because they mentioned in Crimson Peak, it's her novel. It's not a ghost story. It's a story with a ghost in it, and I kind of can see that in this movie. It's not just a ghost story, but there's a story to be told, and it just happens to have a ghost in it. So, amazing movie. I'm glad I watched it. So, yeah.
I like how they address the bomb in the beginning of it, and then nothing ever happens with the bomb. It's like it just sits there, and it's daunting throughout the whole movie. So you have to wonder the whole time, like, what is that going to play a part in it? Is it not? I'm sorry if I just spoiled that for anybody, but there's a big ass bomb in the movie. It's
literally the first thing that happens. But yeah, it's like with that and Pan's Labyrinth, like I was saying, they're very similar. So if you like Pan's Labyrinth and you haven't seen that, you'll probably like it, and vice versa.
Yep.
But what Del Toro does, with the Spanish Civil War stuff, he just shows like, yeah, all this stuff is scary with the ghosts and the monsters, but none of it is nearly as terrifying as the reality of what's going on with the war. Like the human real characters are the scariest thing in either of those movies, and it's the same for any of his films. Same thing goes for Shape of Water and stuff too.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot to mention in Pan's Labyrinth when watching it through again. Like I'm like, that captain is brutal. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a character similar in Devil's Backbone too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all the other creatures are just like so nice, like compared to the captain. I'm like, I want to be around the creatures instead. All right, KB, what do we got?
Well, I know where this 4K is. I'm not getting it, but just to continue with what we're talking about here, my number two is Shape of Water, and you could talk about so many different things in this. You could talk about Doug Jones. You could talk about Sadie Hawkins. You could talk about um, Del Toro's little homage to silent film by the first, what is it, 5, 8 minutes of the movie. Um, it's beautiful without any words. I have to say, I totally enjoyed that. Just seeing a person's day, you know, all aspects of it, if you've seen the movie. But something about a real life villain and have someone be terrifying the way Michael Shannon is in this movie, it's like I'm gonna be evil and mean for no good reason. This is just who I am, and I'm just gonna just make everyone just either hate me or be afraid of me or all of the above. And his performance here is haunting. Oh man, it's so haunting. And he's not doing anything supernatural. He's just being a mean-spirited guy. And the thing I like about it is so many times we see villains and we just see their evil side. We don't get to see, like, I don't know, their home life or the things
Mhm.
that inspire them or the things that influence them. And we get a sneak peek of that. And that just adds to, like, the terror of this guy. And it's like, why are you like this? So, I mean, it's very easy to talk about the fish man and all that good stuff, but every time I watch it, it's something different that I pick up on the green overtones of the movie, but everything always comes back to Shannon's performance as well as Doug Jones and Sadie Hawkins. So, and what's her face?
Octavia
Her
Spencer.
her friend at work. Thank you, Octavia. I meant to say Viola Davis, but Octavia Spencer. Yes, she was a nice comic relief too.
All right, let's go to movies with Ryan. What do we got? Second place.
All right, I had to print this poster out, and my printer decided to run out of red ink halfway through it. Blade 2.
That's to it.
I
I've got
like
a
that
Japanese
colorway.
steelbook in the mail that was supposed to have been here last week, and it's still stuck in Memphis for some reason. So, but Blade 2, we get introduced to Norman Reedus, Donnie Yen's character in the Sisterhood. We get the team with Ron Perlman and Chupa and Lighthammer and all them. It's a more fleshed out Blade. Whistler comes back. I think Whistler comes back. No, he gets the crap beat out of him. That's right. But I like one a lot. I really do. But the CGI in it it hinders it a little bit. But this is a sharper looking movie. The vampire design is way better. I definitely is it Reapers or Reavers? I think it's Reavers.
I think it's
Reavers.
Reavers, yeah.
Yeah,
Reverse
you know the
with a
mandibles
V,
open
yeah.
up are awesome. They tried to carry it on into Trinity, didn't work out that well. But it's more action, it's more storytelling, it's more development, and I think that's what Del Toro is really, really good about. I mean, he sets up stuff so nicely. Everything looks beautiful, and he expands into the world, and you really get a feel for it quickly, and that's why I like this movie. And you're correct, I don't like the Play-Doh bouncing fight scenes. That's probably the only bad CGI
The
ever.
reverse CGI fight scene, yeah. That's the worst part of the movie, but everything else about it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that's missing is Steven Dorff.
Yeah. Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I always say.
All right, so going with my second place here. So number 2, yes, Hellboy. Yes, the original Hellboy 4K steelbook. I love the way the
Love
steelbook
that.
looks. I love the red coloring; it's just fantastic. But yeah, the movie looks great in 4K too. So if you're wondering about the quality, it's super sharp, very clean. But I think it's a great origin story for the Hellboy character, even though I haven't ever read the comics. But I love the way they set it up at the beginning. They give you enough background information to tell you about Hellboy to get you, invested into the character. And then just Ron Perlman as Hellboy, he just, to me, disappears into the character because I didn't know it was Ron Perlman until I looked it up afterwards. I'm like, wait, the Sons of Anarchy guy, that was Hellboy? I mean, like, oh my goodness. So, like, that was so cool. Great character personality because he's kind of like a grown-up kid in the movie. He's just, very much like a young adult, and he's, the relationship is fantastic too with Liz, the pyrokinetic girl too. I love that relationship, and then you got the love triangle. What's his name, Myers or something, the human guy. So I was fine with him in the movie too, just because I like the triangle relationship dynamic. So I thought that was a lot of fun. The fish character, what was his name? The Sapien character.
Abe Sapien.
Abe Sapien.
He was really cool. I just loved how he talked. His voice was fantastic. He did remind me of the Shape of Water guy. Shape of Water guy, just a little bit more detailed, but he was a great character in it. So I think the team dynamic worked really well. And then I thought the villains were cool too, especially like the Knife Ninja villain. Forgot the name. I have no idea what the names were, but I thought that was a really cool, just kind of terrifying, ruthless villain. So I thought this movie was a lot of fun for a comic book movie back in the day. I thought it was a solid origin movie. No complaints there. All the creatures were cool. So I had a good time with this movie. And I thought the practical effect as well with the CGI, to me, nothing stood out as looking weird. So I really liked how it was put together. Fun movie to me.
Yeah. He's a Nazi ninja, Mike.
Yeah.
A Nazi ninja.
Character. He's like filled with sand or something, right?
And that's one thing, like Ryan was saying, that in that first one, he flushes out the world so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Hellboy. I like Mike Mignola's artwork. And watching that movie, along with the second one, makes me feel like I'm actually in the comic book at times.
And he does it so quickly, too. Like, Kronos and Devil's Backbone are only an hour and 34, an hour and 48 minute, respectively.
Yeah.
And you get detailed, what's going on, what world they're in and everything in a very short period of time. And you really understand what's going on in the movies. And that's one thing I love about Del Toro is just that he can stick you right in the movie quickly with not a whole lot of exposition or a whole lot of backstory. But then you know what's going on.
And you totally believe it too. Like right when it gets into Hellboy, I'm believing everything. I'm not like, oh, this is a fake world and all that. I'm like, okay, no, I believe it. I believe all these creatures exist. It's super fun.
Yeah, I love that reference when he's like, "Oh, Hitler died in 19 whatever." It's like, "Oh yeah, sure he did." Like, I don't know if that was part 1 or 2, but yeah.
True.
I think it was part 1 when they were going over. Yeah, whenever
the first one had a lot more
armies.
of the World War II stuff in it. Yeah. That's when he was like a baby and they found him, right?
All right, let's take a look at these comments here. We got Holland Oates in the house. Hello, Holland.
Holland.
Guys, gonna catch the replay. Absolutely. Definitely appreciate that. All right, Mika says my number 2 would be Kronos. Nice. See, that's another nice thing to see.
It's a good movie.
It's
check
cool.
it out. Check it out.
Michael says, I don't know what my second favorite Del Toro movie is, but I recommend both Hellboy movies. Yay, I just shout out Hellboy and Shape of Water. Don't seem to enjoy his other ones, though. Really? I like all his movies that I've seen. At least to me, they're all like solid movies, too. Ones I really
Mimic's forgettable. Shape of Water, I need to rewatch. I couldn't get into it. I just didn't want to see a bunch of fish love. I don't know what it was. The movie looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
The only one of his movies I couldn't get into is
beautiful
the
movie,
but it's gorgeous to look at. Either way.
Yeah, it was just a little weird for me.
All right, Gus says I need to watch Devil's Backbone. I just bought it in the Sony Classics 4K.
It looks really good.
Yep, that's where I got it from. So yeah,
I wonder if it's better than the Criterion.
Probably.
All right, Gus says I also need to check out you haven't seen The Shape of Water. Got to get on that.
Do that first.
It's because it's a Best Picture winner. So right.
Yeah, who did it beat out that year?
It was that 3 Billboards, which were both Sony, they were both Fox Searchlight, which was funny, and Get Out was that year. It's a good year, actually.
Yeah, strong year.
Adrian says, so do I, Gus. Michael says, on IMDb trivia, August 22nd, 2011, Del Toro listed his 6 favorite fright films: Freaks, The Uninvited, The Innocents, Jaws, Alien, and The Shining. Excellent.
Wow. So those are all atmospheric, just deep atmosphere stored, like involved films.
Yeah, the Alien definitely
puts you in that place.
Yeah.
And I will say, Del Toro does a great job of that in all his movies. Like the atmosphere he's able to create is just fantastic. So
Yeah.
I
I
get
know he
it.
got some inspiration for Devil's Backbone from Mario Bava. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know
yeah.
he got some inspiration from there. So I don't know if any of his films are on there. I don't know who directed Innocence.
Hmm.
That's
All
another
right.
Criterion.
All right, I think I'm caught up here in the comments now. We are going to get into our first favorites, but once again, if you are joining in late, just a reminder, make sure you Hellboy smash that subscribe if you're visiting for the first time, of course, that like button and comments. Keep them coming as we will answer those live. So yeah, definitely throw in those awesome comments about Del Toro as we go through these. All right, so now we're getting into our first favorites, and we'll probably do a little bit of some honorable mentions after this too, just so we make sure we mention all of Del Toro stuff if we don't get to all of them. But first favorite Guillermo Del Toro title. So this is going to be interesting to see everybody's number one pick. Let's go to Derek. What do we got?
I whistle the theme from Shape of Water so often when I'm just bored and by myself. But I love Shape of Water. Like I said, Pan's Labyrinth and this are probably about equal for me. It's just the hurdle of subtitles that kind of makes me like this one a little bit more. This movie is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people just like shoo it away as the fish sex movie, which is like not fair, or as
It's
the
fish sex.
or as a ripoff
But
of Creature of the Black Lagoon, which I finally watched
But
for the first
everyone
time this year,
embraces
and this
Beauty and
movie's
the
nothing
Beast.
like that movie except for there's a fish man in it. So that's literally the only comparison you can make. But amazing ensemble cast, like you said, Sally Hawkins, Doug Jones as the creature, Michael Shannon's always outstanding in everything he does. Octavia Spencer's good, and Richard Jenkins is outstanding in everything he does as well. He's great in this movie too. But yeah, Michael Shannon, great villain in anything he stars in. He's always my favorite part of pretty much every movie he's in. The art direction in this film and the score are like some of the best I've ever seen in my life. And oh yeah, Michael Stuhlbarg, one of my favorite character actors, is also in this movie. So I was always happy to watch this. But yeah, give it another chance if you didn't really get into it the first time. I loved it when I saw it in theaters, and I just liked it more and more every time I watched it since then. And I am really in the mood to watch this right now, to be honest with you. So I might put it on when we're done with this. But yeah, it was nominated for 13 Oscars, and I honestly was really hoping it was going to break the record with 15 and get in for visual effects and makeup, which it did not get nominated for, sadly. But 13's nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure.
Nope.
All right, Ben Buster, number one.
Number one has been on numerous lists here. I mean, honestly, it's he built the world in the first one, but he dived in and made it more about the nuance of the character in the second one, and that is Hellboy too, the Golden Army for me. Yeah, right there. I enjoy this one over the first one because, like I said, the Hellboy is more nuanced in here. You get more character driven, more character development in this one than you did in the first one. But I understand you're Hellboy's still a child. He's still learning how to be what he's supposed to be, which is pretty much, if you read the comic books, a doomsday machine. And he doesn't want to be that. So, and Liz trying to help him out with that. And not only that, but Doug Jones doesn't get the credit he deserves for this movie, playing 3 roles in there as well. Besides Abe, he's the Angel of Death, and he's the doorkeeper for Baylor too. So he doesn't get the credit he deserves for this movie for playing 3 roles. So Hellboy 2, fairly underrated superhero sequel. It gets crapped on a lot, but the visual effects, including the practical effects in here, are amazing. And yes, that's the 3-disc special edition. You guys remember these? The digital copies on discs?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's right
I know,
there.
yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, Eddie, what do we got for number one?
All right, so my number one, probably number one on a lot of people's list, but rightfully so, right? Pan's Labyrinth got this beautiful Criterion edition. Yeah, just flawless storytelling. I don't throw this word around too much when it comes to movies, but it's a masterpiece in my opinion. Just really like I think Ryan. Sorry about that. I think Ryan mentioned this. Just how quickly Del Toro gets you immersed in his worlds. Of creatures and all these fantastical aspects. And same here. Just really good. Great job of doing that. You're just sucked in immediately, engaged. And this movie really brings out Del Toro's knowledge of like mystical creatures, and all his knowledge of the folklore just really shines. And I mean, not usually a big fan of like endings that leave things up to your own interpretation, but I really like the way it was done here. And I think even Del Toro has come out and given a definitive ending of what he intended. But yeah, just really good. I mean, one of the most terrifying villains in a movie with the war, the general there.
Captain.
But yeah, the captain. But I mean, yeah, what can I say? I mean, masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
All right, KB, first place.
I'm gonna concur with my man Eddie, and also hold up Pan's Labyrinth. To me, when I think of Guillermo del Toro, I think of this movie. This is it. It's probably the one I've seen the most, and it does get better every time you watch it. And I mean, you could get more complex with it, but the simplicity of it is it's a little girl's imagination made into a fairy tale, and that's the long and short of it. And it's beautiful. I'll call it a masterpiece as well, Eddie. But I also agree with you, Derek. I could switch this 1 and 2 between this and Shape, but I had to give the head to Pan's Labyrinth. It's perfect to me.
All right, and then movies of Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my number one, if you follow me on Instagram, this will be my still book a day for tomorrow, which there's only 4 days left. Thank God.
Made it.
I'm going to call it a masterpiece as well. And I have a masterpiece little steelbook collection here from Kimchi DVD. So everything everybody said is correct. And in the fact that it is her imagination filling in her mind to take her out of what's going on. It does leave you up to interpretation, what actually happens to her. The captain is a menacing foe. Pale Man and I forget whatever he's called.
The Fawn.
Fawn, yeah. I wanted to call him an elf for some reason. Beautifully done. And the set designs are just probably some of the best I've ever seen in a movie, and probably the best that Del Toro's done. I can't even get it out of the dang slip. That's how good it is.
So good you can't even watch it.
Yes, but
Ooh,
like I said,
beautiful.
it is. If you follow me on Instagram, this is my still book a day tomorrow. But this set's nice too. It's got that. It's got a nice booklet that's got a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. The only problem is I don't know Korean, so I can't read my book. But it's got pretty pictures in it, and I will call it a masterpiece as well. I've watched it 3 times now. It gets better and better every time. And my girlfriend, she does not like foreign movies. She's actually watched it with me and enjoys the movie. Like, it's one of the few movies that she actually enjoys. It's a foreign film. So, love it. There we go. Pan's Labyrinth. If I need to pull a title that has gold on it, there we go.
Ryan,
that
is
is definitely the best looking edition we've
Mm-hmm.
seen tonight of the artwork
Definitely.
with Pan's
Yes.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, it's great.
I stayed
will
up until 2 a.m. to make sure I got a copy of this because it's limited to.
I will add the 4K is not better than the Criterion Blue. The transfer, even though you have HDR, blah, 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 more pixels, the Criterion Blu-ray looks better than the 4K. You don't say that often, but it does.
For Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't benefit from HDR. So
No, yeah,
Blu-ray
this is one of the few
better
ones
transfer.
that looks better on the Criterion Blue. So there was only 1,050 of these made. I've got 951 of 1,050. But I stayed up until 2 a.m. because as soon as I seen this release, I was like, I am buying that.
And
Nice.
so Ryan, that was a slipcover over steelbook then?
Yes.
Or
So this is the
let's
slip
see that
cover.
again because it looks so
Put him
nice.
back full screen for that.
Let's
That's
see
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
So that's the slip cover.
Ooh, that's
Slip
so
box,
nice.
technically.
Ooh.
And then it comes with a booklet it's kind of like a fake leather, and it's got this really cool printing on it.
Mhm.
And then it's got the full poster in it, and then it's got my little kimchi card that tells me what edition it is. And then on the inside, it's got art cards, and then of course inside art and disc art, because everything's better with inside art.
True.
I've never even opened
That
these
is
art
so
cards.
nice though. And that's a 4K disc.
No, it's just a Blu-ray.
Oh, just oh, that looks so
This
nice.
is like
That
also
still looks
the-
so cool, and I love the slip boxes too. Slip box,
Yeah, slip boxes are great.
mine.
Yeah.
Getting me tempted to import stuff now. Very tempted.
It's where it's at,
Slippery
man.
slope, my man.
It's
Slippery
dangerous.
slope.
Yeah, I'm glad
I know
everyone.
that's the only reason
It
why
is.
I haven't. I'm like,
You
I
better
spend enough
consult
money
with-
on studio releases.
Right, yeah.
Don't let
Criterion.
Amazing Anna find out.
oh yeah. All right, so now into my first place. Is it gonna be Pan's Labyrinth? No, I already chose that one, so I'm gonna have to break the streak on that. There was pulled 3 times right now, I know, but I already pulled it. So you guys know I'm not gonna pick that one. But me and Derek were thinking the same way on this one, I will say. So yeah, Shape of Water, of course, number 1. I love this movie. When I saw it in the theater as well, I was just stunned visually. I'm like, this is a gorgeous looking movie, especially the use of the water and the creature. The creature design was fantastic. Yeah, it kind of looks similar to the Hellboy one, but a lot more details in Shape of Water, just with when it kind of glows too, with like the blue lights and all of that. And I like the romance in this movie. To me, it worked. Yeah, it's a fish person, and then you got the human lady. But to me, I bought into it. I'm like, you know what? They seem to have a connection here, and I get it because she can't talk, he can't really talk, so I get it. They're relating on that angle there. But I like romance movies once in a while, so I think The Shape of Water is probably one of my favorite romance movies. So excellent date night movie, just really really cool looking. I love the slipcover too with the water. It's very shiny. Really nice. But yeah, I just like the aesthetic of this movie too. I think what does it take place in the 60s? I'm guessing based off like the cars. The cars looked really cool in it as well. But yeah, everybody was saying Michael Shannon, great villain, of course. Like once again, just such a mean-spirited character, and just like what is he doing? Right, his motivations, all of that. Octavia Spencer, she's one of my favorite actresses. So to have her in there as like, you know, the buddy character, she has her funny moments as well. So good dynamic there. And then I forgot what the name of the main actress was, the silent one, but she does a great job without even speaking, just all her expressions and using the sign language. You can see everything she's trying to communicate, even though, you know, she's not using words. So I really like that. All the characters, once again, great in the movie. And there's just kind of a fantastical element to it, but not over the top. You totally believe the world. Once again, Del Toro is known for that, bringing you into a world that has some of those elements, but making you believe it. So, yep, I really like Shape of Water. I was super happy when it won Best Picture. I'm like, yep, definitely deserves it. And it's the Del Toro movie that got me more excited about wanting to watch other Del Toro movies, because I didn't even really know too much about the director. I'm like, yeah, I've seen other Del Toro movies, but I'm like, okay, who did Shape of Water? Del Toro? Okay, let me look at some of his back catalog stuff. Oh, Pan's Labyrinth. Everybody says Pan's Labyrinth's great. Let me check that out now. But totally a funny story about Pan's Labyrinth. When I started playing it, I thought I had it on wrong because I didn't know it was like a foreign language film. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong on my TV? Like, the settings were right. I'm like, what's going on here? Because I knew him from The Shape of Water and like Hellboy and things like that. I didn't know the foreign language films. And I'm like, oh no, okay, it's supposed to be a foreign language film. Okay, I got it. And I know. I'm like the whole time. I'm like, wait, did I get a wrong copy of this movie? I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, Guillermo del Toro, excellent. Shape of Water is awesome. So I don't think they ever did a steelbook for this one, did they? This would have been a cool steelbook if they did.
Not like I don't think they did a standard like Best Buy one or anything like that. Tim's
That
got
would've
a
been-
There is one though, and it's really nice. That slip cover is nice too. I need that slip.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Send me that slip.
In a
Mike.
world full of fish people and people.
How much you
people
want it
love
for? Because I'm not like
balance.
too into slips, so if the price is right, I can
I
get
just
rid
playing,
of it.
bro. I just got this little
I'll put it to
plain
some other
card.
movies. I'll put it toward the Kronos copy out there. I still need to see that. But yeah,
I will say something, Mike. Though
Mhm.
I'll be honest, that's where I knew Del Toro from too. Was a lot of his English movies, and the first time I watched Pan's Labyrinth, I was like, oh wait, this is a Spanish movie. But I was already in a foreign language, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, if you've seen Hellboy and Blade and Shape of Water and all that, then you go to watch some of his other movies, you're like, oh wait, he's actually a Spanish director, not an American.
That's why I'm surprised when I watched Kronos today that it was like about half and half or so because Ron Perlman's in it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice, you know.
And I don't know if they rewrote it because he really, really, really wanted Ron Perlman, and I don't know if he rewrote the script to accommodate him and made it more English because I'm pretty sure it was probably all 100% Spanish at one point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie though. But yeah, even I watched it on HBO Max, and that's even the Criterion version on there. Like it has a Criterion logo before the movie and everything. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you don't have it, and you have HBO Max, all of them are on there. Mimic's on there, Devil's Backbone, and Kronos.
Pacific Rim's on there too.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So what inspired you to want to do this live stream? Was it like Shape of Water and then wanted to see more of his films? What was the inspiration for tonight?
Yeah, so actually it was because of Pinocchio. So I've been doing my director live streams, and I was thinking about, okay, what's going to be the next director live stream I do? And I'm like, I kind of want to make it make sense. What's a recent movie to come out from like a famous or well-known director? And I'm like, hey, you know what? Pinocchio just came out, and I really want to watch Pinocchio. So I'm like, hey, this would be a fun idea. I can watch Pinocchio, then catch up on some of his other movies I haven't seen, or ones I haven't seen in a while. I'm like, okay, this is a perfect time to celebrate Del Toro here. So it's really the release of Pinocchio. I was just like, okay, now is the time. Now is the time for a stream on Del Toro here. At least that's how I was thinking about it.
Good idea. Good idea. I still haven't gotten into Cabinet of Curiosities. I want to check that out.
Yeah, I need to watch that too. Yeah.
I've seen a couple episodes of it, and I will say, they're all right. You can still tell it's like very, streaming Netflix quality. So it's not like very like high, it's not like the high movie quality you would expect from like Del Toro. But some of the stories were fine, just as kind of like short anthology tales. I think they work well enough. Like if you want to pop them on during spooky season, I don't think you'll hate them. I don't know if you'll love them though. But it did remind me a lot of like Alfred Hitchcock, like Alfred Hitchcock Presents and the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, because he like will come out and like introduce himself. Very similar style to that. So I thought that was a really cool callback. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I thought that
he
was
is a student of Hitchcock, so I could see that.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the coolest part of it. But yeah, for the stories themselves, I think stories are fine, but just the budget quality you can tell is way less than all his movies. So that's why I was a little disappointed by them, which is why I didn't finish all of them. But I need to go back and just kind of binge through them and get through them all. But am I the only one who's seen any of those ones? Has anybody else checked out Cabinet of Curiosities?
I was planning on it, but I never got around to it. I do want to watch the one with Crispin Glover for sure, because I love Crispin Glover.
Yeah, see, I don't think I got to that one. I only saw, I think, a couple out of there. But
I just saw the first one. The first one, and I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah, that's how I felt too, Eddie. Like it's okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't love it either. So I'm just like, I feel like I'd rather spend time watching more movies.
Right. The fact that they're all different kind of helps though, at least because you're like, oh, at least I don't have to watch this for 8 more episodes. It's something different next time.
Yeah,
they're just short film. Actually, I went and saw. I had to be around the time Shape of Water was doing its award circuit a handful of years ago. The art museum in Minneapolis had the Guillermo del Toro exhibit there at the time, and that was amazing. Like they had his personal comic book collection there, and all
Oh,
of
wow.
his personal drawings, because he designs a lot of the stuff himself. That's what makes him so cool. It's like he's a lot like Tim Burton in that way, where they're very deep into their own little design things. But they had like the Pale Man like costume and all this. It was really cool. So if they ever do that again, I'd recommend going to it. I don't know if they're going to do that again, but I know it was a thing that toured the country at various art museums, but it was cool. So glad I did it.
And did we mention everything now that Del Toro did? I'm trying to remember. Was there any movie tonight we haven't mentioned yet?
I think we mentioned all of them at least a little
We
bit.
covered that.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, everybody had such different lists. It was great to see the variety there.
Yeah, I think the only thing not mentioned was his 2 animated movies he wrote and done, and then a movie called
His
PT, which I've never heard of.
Was that a short or something?
No, it's oh, you know what? See, 2014. Oh, it's a what? Oh, it's like a video game thing. Never mind.
No.
Never mind.
Huh.
Give me a
Yeah, so
second.
like
I'll
he's
be
only
right
done
back.
like a dozen movies or so. It's not a lot, but
Yeah, 12
Troll
12
Hunters
features.
and Three Blows, Tales of Arcadia. The one thing I do like is the Strain, at least the first 2 seasons of it, because it really felt like, since he didn't get to do Blade Trinity, that he kind of took his ideas from that and moved it into a TV show, because the characters are kind of like the vampires he did for Blade 2.
Oh, nice.
Like I said, first 2 seasons were pretty good, and then after that, it kind of tails off. I think he did like 46 episodes of that or something.
All right, let's check in with the comments here, and then we'll definitely sign out after these comments. But if you want to get a comment answered live, definitely send those in right now. Michael says it's an homage to Creature from the Black Lagoon, since it's his favorite Universal monster, next to Frankenstein's monster. Mentioned on his IMDb page, Shape of Water is Del Toro's favorite. Yeah, I love Creature from the Black Lagoon too. That's one of my favorite Universal ones. So
yeah,
I can definitely see that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can tell he, I guess he likes kind of like the fish-like creature, because that's in Hellboy as well.
Yeah.
So, pops up a few times. So, Gus says, "Laugh out loud, Derek." That's why I haven't seen it, because I've heard it's a
The fish. There's so much fish sex in it. It's crazy.
Well,
it's like a whole scene.
It's like
They
25
don't really
minutes
show
solid.
too much in there, actually. I mean,
There's a
you just
45-minute long sex scene in the middle of the movie.
yeah, you really just see them floating in the water. So and then you hear the story about it afterwards. You don't really see much
hilarious.
there. But.
If you've seen the cover,
Oh,
you'll
it's
see
just
the sex.
so it's like Howard the Duck,
Yeah, basically.
where they just
It's exactly like Howard the Duck. Every way.
Mika says my number one would be Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, that's what I was expecting from a lot of people. I felt like everybody number one was going to be Pan's Labyrinth. So we got 3 Pan's Labyrinth out there, a couple Shape of Water, and then Ben Buster, you were Hellboy too, right?
Yep.
I can't remember. Did anyone else have Devil's Backbone anywhere on their list?
I did not have it on my list. I mean, I have it right here. I had the 4K slipcover.
Yeah.
Just from the Sony.
I debated it, but I just since I only watched it for the first time today, I was like, it needs to simmer a little bit.
I did too. I think it was last night I saw it for the first time, but it was just something about it. I loved it.
It might have actually made my number 6 possibly. So I enjoyed it absolutely.
And it's very. I don't know if somebody mentioned this, but it's like Del Toro kind of has said that those two should be like Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone should be watched together. They're kind of like unofficial
companion pieces.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is the other reason I didn't really feel the need to like have it at my number 5, because it's like, well, I already have Pan's Labyrinth and they're very similar in many, many ways.
All right, Mika says beautiful Pan's Labyrinth Steelbook, Ryan. I know that was nice when you pulled that, Ryan. I'm like, ooh.
It's the only reason we did the stream, is just so we could show that off again.
Yes.
For that alone, it would be worth it, because I love the slip boxes too. I mean, the slip boxes themselves are just great.
Easily one of my top 3 steelbooks I own. This thing is just gorgeous. Yes, her is in the top 3 as well, KB.
Yeah, I love that one.
All right, Michael says I honestly didn't find Pan's Labyrinth very interesting or paced well. I agree about the look of the movie, but it doesn't seem very memorable. There isn't much fantasy from what? To me, like, it was all fantasy. And, like, there was tons of fantasy elements.
As soon as she draws the chalk door, she's in a fantasy.
About half and half. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't
Characters
like
are
super
fantasy.
love the movie either. I'm on like I really liked it, so I'm not like on the super love category of it. But it's a beautiful movie to look at. I mean, once again, just for the creature designs alone, like right when you see the toad, I'm just like I'm blown away by this toad. This toad's awesome.
I'll have to check it out. I've never seen
Like
it.
Derek said,
Oh,
the more
it's
you
good.
watch
That's
it,
great. Yeah.
the more you watch it.
It might take more than one watch to really like it, but it's really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I liked it on my first watch, but my second watch where I was really like, yeah, I love this movie.
There you go, Gus.
Gus says, I agree, KB. The 4K is super dark. The color grading for the Criterion was approved
Oh, nice.
by Del Toro. The 4K was not. There you go. That's the secret. You got to see, okay, who is it approved by?
Yeah,
Got to factor
the
all
color
that in.
grading is totally different.
And Criterion gives them more of that filmic look, also.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Criterion
just
a
a
4K
2K
transfer
transfer.
too? Or no?
It's a 4K transfer, but you can't tell the difference because you have to turn up your brightness.
I was just saying that because if it's a 4K transfer on the Criterion, that's probably like at least as good or better.
Oh no, on the Criterion it's a 2K digital
Oh, really?
master.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
good for them.
I could see that
Good
one
job.
coming out to 4K from Criterion, though. I could see them doing that.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Gus says, I love importing. The sickness is real.
At least
I know it's
Yes,
a
it
whole
is.
nother rabbit hole. Once you go down importing, it's just like a whole nother. That's why I'm
Next
like,
thing you
Especially when
know,
you pay
you're
those
chatting on
$90
IG every
shipping
day.
fees.
yeah. Next thing you know, you're getting the Saw box set for like $500. And
it's breaking all over the place. Yeah.
You're messaging Jay Fox every day. It's bad. It's terrible.
So, Nova Media just had their winter sale, and everything was half off. And I made a hefty purchase, but shipping alone was $102.
Jesus
oh
Christ.
my goodness.
But
Well, you bought 102 pounds worth of movies at least then.
I know.
I bought 7 or 9 things. I forget what I bought. 7 or 9. I bought a one click and then some other stuff. So
That one click will get you.
yeah.
You have to make it worth your while.
And they
Oh, yeah.
never throw in the shipping for free, huh? On the importing stuff. Just-
No.
Not even if you go over a certain amount. It's like no matter what, you're getting charged shipping.
Like with
No,
like
you-
if you buy from Aero UK or Eureka or stuff like that, you can. But like if you're buying from like the Koreas or Japan, like the high end steelbook places, no, you're paying for shipping.
The most you could get free shipping on is like importers like Orbit or Diabolic or something, but they don't have like the premium boutique stuff.
Michael says Shape of Water was good, but I didn't love it since some of it dragged. They didn't explain how the amphibian was used as a weapon from the Soviets. In fact, the political aspects dragged. I did not catch that at all. But I just liked the romance itself. I thought that was working.
You like the
moving-
fish sex, we know.
I'm telling you, I'm a sucker for a good romance movie. If you put on a
Big
good
booties,
romance movie,
fish sex.
hey, I will get into the romance movies. It's about the heart in the romance, okay? It's not about the actual
heart-shaped booty
person or creature. They actually did show some booty in that movie. Now that I remember, right? They show her booty. I do remember.
something else.
You see a lot of her in that. That's for sure.
Yes, you do.
Now that you're refreshing my memory on that, yes, I do. Movie Hunter 2020 says they did a steelbook. Ooh, I did not catch what they did a steelbook of that.
You would
Yeah,
know.
I know there was some boutique steelbooks, but I want to say UK also had a steelbook that we didn't get.
And he is not a full-on fish, Gus. Okay, he is totally like a humanoid creature. Okay, not like a goldfish. All right. Michael says the relationship with the creature and girl were very well done, and it had some very good visuals. I tried to cover a few too many subplots, and some of the pacing dragged, but beautifully filmed. I will say that about Del Toro movies; they're always beautifully filmed. I can't say
Mhm.
one of his
Oh,
movies
well.
like, oh, this movie just looks terrible. No, Del Toro movies, I'm like,
No.
Yeah.
this
Even
movie
my
looks
least favorite of his
amazing.
movies is gorgeous.
Yeah, even if I'm not
Yeah.
like too into the story, like Crimson Peak, I'm like, okay, I like it well enough. You know, it's like a haunting ghost story, but I'm like, I love the visuals, just like the film angles he's choosing, and like you see like the different hallway shots and all that. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, except Mimic. He didn't have control on that movie.
Yeah, that's very 90s studio stuff.
Yeah.
Gus says, is The Shape of Water Spanish or English film? English film.
Yeah,
English.
that's it.
And that's why I'm like, oh, I had no idea that he
It's
was a
amphibian.
English film director.
Yeah.
The whole thing is silent.
Well, half the people in the movie don't
Yes,
talk.
yes.
So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Octavia Spencer is the only one who talks in the whole movie.
yeah, her and Richard Jenkins. Yeah.
She's so good though. Like Octavia Spencer to me, very underrated. Like whenever she's in anything, I'm like, she's
Oh,
awesome.
she's great, especially in Bad Santa and Spider-Man.
And,
Michael says, Mega Mike the Moon Man, please add me to streaming of another director. Choose Hitchcock, Allen, and Eastwood. Ooh, yeah, I was thinking about an Eastwood one for sure. I'm like, that's gonna be a big stream. That's a lot of movies to go through. May need to do a top like 15 for that. Everybody grab
Make sure
a
you
top 15.
make sure you get Pop's movie.
Yeah,
done.
he's
You know
got
that.
that.
He's
I
a
already
I
had
super
that.
Eastwood
20
fan.
films that I had
right?
that I've only watched
Yeah.
like 5 of those movies probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a ranking where I don't think like anybody would have the same titles.
No.
Because I'm like, there's just
No.
such variety. Yes.
Space
Uh,
Cowboys.
Adrian. Oh, actually, that's my next upcoming one. So thank you, Adrian, for shouting that out. So, Mike, have
That's
you
gonna
done a
be good.
James Cameron one? If you haven't, please do one. Yes, that is on the plan. So that's probably going to be happening next week, actually. So I still need to fill up the panel for that. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I think I have 2 people for it so far, but I definitely need to get more people on that one. But that will be
Terminator
a fun
2.
stream.
Number
Yeah.
one.
I just got. more
I
James
don't need to be
Cameron
there.
titles
That's
than-
mine.
He only has like 5 movies, so it'll be easy to narrow down.
He has like 9 movies, okay, and it will still be cool to see the ranking order, even though there'll probably be a lot of overlap. That's okay.
Avatar doesn't make my list at all.
A lot of Avatar 2 on there.
Mike says, Mega Mike the Movie Man, did you choose? Yeah, I did do a Spielberg live stream. That was my first director live stream, actually. So if you want to watch that on the replay, appreciate that. So yeah, we did Spielberg. We've done Bobby Zemeckis. So yeah, definitely more director live streams to happen. But yeah, definitely watch the replay on those. Michael says Del Toro is the less gothic side of Tim Burton. All right, Michael says
it's a
Pan's
different
Labyrinth
lane.
was more about World War II. Hard Copy Blues. Oh, hey, Hard Copy
Ben.
Blues. Thanks for stopping in. Just popping in after a long night traveling. I've not seen A Nightmare Alley or Crimson Peak, but my top 5 is probably Mimic, Blade 2, Devil's Backbone, Shape of Water, and Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, I was surprised. A lot of people pulled Blade 2. I didn't know if Blade 2 was going to get a lot of love.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many people did.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention. Hellboy 2, Blade 2, and Devil's Backbone.
Yeah.
And then, what were you going to say, Ryan?
He just found a full bin of plain archive. That's probably a couple of grand sitting in a bin that he
Woo!
didn't know he had. Come on, culture, man. Jeez.
See,
First
I'm not
world
even in the
problem.
know about this. So plain archive,
yeah.
I'm guessing is like really top quality stuff.
It's
Out of print.
upper mid tier. They do have some really good still books. But they do a lot of like Korean, Japanese movie stuff like that. Then they do have like special edition American movies as well. But yeah, their still books are pretty good. Patterson, they've done a bunch of ones. Patterson's probably my other top 3 that I own. But yeah, it's a pricey label.
Well,
so
thank
you got Wheat, Blue Fans, and like there's like 2 other ones that are like top tier that you can only buy through like group buys, and then you get like Plain Archive, Kimchi, Nova Media, stuff like that is like the upper echelon, and then you get into like your German and your UK exclusives and Zavvi and all that. Then you get the American steelbooks because they suck. Not really. Lionsgate's been killing it.
As long as I get shipped to you in
Yes,
one
they
piece,
have.
they're fine, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Ooh.
That's
Ooh.
the problem.
All right. Well, thank you, Culture Trini, for jumping in. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Michael says, I only have 2 James Cameron movies at home. You got to have the whole collection. It's an easy,
Well,
easy.
that
Well,
is
actually, you
Yeah,
know what?
that's an
It's
easy
not
one.
the easiest collection to get because some of the stuff hasn't even made it to Blu-ray or 4K, which is super weird. So
Yeah,
you
I
got to
see a
get
lot
like
of still has no Blu-ray.
some
And I'm like,
DVDs
oh.
on some of them if you can find them. So that's the
I
only.
mean, if
bad
he's got
thing.
2, he's already got 33% of like
Yeah.
James Cameron's.
He already has both Terminators. Yeah.
Mhm. But you've seen all Cameron's movies, yes. I think that's kind of James Cameron's play. He's like maybe he doesn't want to get into the physical media stuff because like just see my stuff in theaters a whole bunch of times, just so I
Yeah.
can get the
Mhm.
billions.
I need more of the top 3 grossing movies of all time under my name.
Unless you count
How
Alita
much money
Battle
has Avatar 2 lost so far? Because wasn't it supposed to make
Well-
$2 billion and it only made like 450 million?
It's
Well, I
at
think
like
it's
800
closing in
far.
on $1 billion, isn't it?
worldwide already.
I think it's
So
closing in on
far.
$1 billion.
Yeah, it'll be at $1 billion by the end of the week, probably worldwide. But yeah, domestically wise, it's only at like a few hundred thousand.
All right, so I think we're caught up in all the comments, so that is awesome. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance, of course, to kind of, promote themselves, say what they got going on their channel, and all that great stuff. So once again, everybody's links are in the description below, so definitely make sure you are visiting them out there. But let's go to Derek. What do we got going on?
Not much. I'm trying not to buy so much right now because I bought too much last month. So you're seeing a lot less of videos of me buying things. But it is award season, luckily, so that gives me content to do. The Golden Globes are happening on the 10th already. That comes up quick. And then essentially every day the week after that, some sort of awards guild is announcing their nominees and winners. So I will be doing videos on all of those things on my channel in early January. And I do plan on doing my 90s Best Picture Nominees Tournament live stream on my channel probably the second week of January. FYI. I just need to set it up. But that is what I have planned so far. Not too much, though.
All right, Ben Buster. What do we got going on?
I mean, I don't have another Walmart Wednesday until after the first of the year. Just decided to take the 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's off. So, coming up in the first of the year, not only will I be having my Walmart Wednesdays again, I will also be doing a series on forgotten films that haven't made it past DVD and they've never got a Blu-ray or 4K. Are these truly forgotten films? Should we actually forget them, or do we not remember them because they're not on the best format? So I have a series coming up on that. So
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Eddie, what do we got going on?
All right, so I keep dropping my phone. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sorry. No, well, yeah, if you're not familiar with my channel, I just started recently this year. I mostly focus around physical media, like Blu-rays, 4K, Steelbooks, Criterion. Do a couple of Blu-ray hunts, couple of haul videos, couple of rankings. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm planning on doing a entire Blu-ray collection soon, so I haven't filmed that yet, but I wanna get on that. All my Blu-rays except for not Criterion's. I want to do a separate video for that, and Steelbooks too. I'll do a separate Steelbook collection, but yeah, that's the plan so far. So yeah, check it out.
All right, and then KB, I think we got a conversation coming up here soon, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say I have a conversation coming up with Mike tomorrow, so looking forward to that. Originally, I was going to take this time off between Christmas and New Year's, but my kids came home and we decided to do a conversation, so we did that on Christmas night. You could catch a replay, and I have Mega Mike coming up tomorrow, and I'm booking January dates for a couple of conversations. And I'm also going to be starting my new series called So I Watch That Thing, where people have recommended movies to me. And I'm going to try to just do like little live streams with them after I watch a movie just to talk about it. So that's going to coincide with starting my project for the year, which is 100 films I missed. So, going to see how that lines up together.
Sucker punch.
Yeah, I know. And you're going to be on.
I know.
All right,
All
what do we
right.
got, Ryan?
Ryan, movies with Ryan. I've got an unboxing video coming out tomorrow. I have one video that comes out every week on Wednesdays. Next week's going to be my favorite 5, where I want to tell you my 5 favorite movies of 2022 and my 5 favorite pickups of 2022. Steelbook a Day is coming to end. I've only got 4 days left. I'm kind of happy about that. Kind of sad, though, too. I wish I would have thought of something to do for 2023. Other than that, that's all I got going on. Catch me on Instagram, Letterboxd, YouTube, Movies with Ryan. Yay!
My son gave you a shout out the other night, and his suggestion is you have more than 365 of them. Keep it going until you run out, and then buy some more.
I do, and I have bought more, and I could probably do another 2 months worth of pictures.
All right, and then Mega Mike the Movie Man here. You guys all know my channel, so once again, if you're visiting for the first time, make sure you subscribe. Got tons of great content coming up here. I was a little bit lighter on the content the past few days. It wasn't because of the holidays. It was because my camera totally took a dive on me. I had to get a new camera shipped to me, but now the new camera is a go, so you'll have to let me know if the quality looks nice visually. But yeah, so we got the camera there. I'm going to get more content coming up. Yep, going to be on KB's channel tomorrow. So you guys got to make sure you go over there, subscribe, so you not only see me on the conversation, but amazing Anna is going to be joining as well. So it's going to be a little bit of that double trouble action for you all tomorrow. So that's going to be a bunch of fun. That's going to be great. And then I'm going to have that James Cameron live stream coming up. So once again, if anybody wants to be a part of that, just send me a message on Instagram, and that way I can get that panel filled up. But yeah, a lot more director live streams to come up, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then, yeah. Oh, and of course, I haven't announced this yet on the channel, I don't think, but we got the second annual Meggies coming up. Yes, you guys know it, the original Physical Media Award Show. That's going to be coming up in a week. I got a great panel for that. So I'm going to be releasing the nominee polls tomorrow in my community tab for that. So you're going to be able to vote on the nominees to see the best of the best in physical media. So make sure you do vote on those, so your voice is heard for the Physical Media Award Show with that. And we'll see who's going to win. That's actually going to be next Thursday night, I believe, is when it's scheduled. So we're going to get the results in, and we're going to go over everything. Best in Steelbook, best box set, best 4K. I mean, you name it. There's going to be so many categories out there. It's just going to be a wonderful night celebrating all things amazing in physical media that came out this year. So this is going to be a wonderful kind of celebration to end the year off right. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely tune in to that. But that's all I have for my channel at the moment. Once again, audience, thank you for being a part of this live stream, leaving the awesome comments as always. And if you do watch this on the replay, anybody, definitely leave those comments as well. I will get to those too. And for, of course, my amazing panel of collectors and blue tubers here joining me tonight. Thank you as always. You guys had a great variety of lists. It was awesome to see all the different rankings and different choices and everybody's perspective on Del Toro. So this was just a great time to celebrate that amazing director. So this was a whole lot of fun. But that's going to be it for now, everybody. Have a great night out there. Remember to make out what? Yeah, Eddie, what do we got, Eddie? Oh, you were just showing Pan's Labyrinth. You wanted to get a little bit more Pan's Labyrinth in there. Go for it. Yeah. But remember to make every day a movie day. Have a great night, everyone.
Night.
Watch